shoulder to boulder on the old iHeartRadio. Also, AMFM247.com. I have way too much fun on this program. We had a lot of fun out at the Bare Knuckle thing this last weekend, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. We forced the other media to work hard, which is never fun because they don't like working hard. Them and their speech impediments and their makeup people. But we are going to go to our first guest. That's going to get me in trouble with somebody. We're going to go to our first guest here in just a few seconds, and he is going to join us live here on our big broadcast. Thanks for joining us today here on iHeartRadio. Thanks for finding us on AMFM247.com and, of course, 50-plus AM/FM stations across the country and around the world. And we have got a great guest joining us today via the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And Justin Christie is with us. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm hanging in there like a hair in a biscuit. How are you today?
That's awesome. That's a better introduction than I could give you. So that is fantastic. So, by the way, thanks for doing Skype with us. And also, thank you for knowing how to use technology. I have had several guests today who didn't know how to use Skype. They didn't even really know how to dial a telephone. So I'm glad that you're able to do some technology things with us today. First of all, but before we get into some of the different things that you're involved in, talk to us a little bit about your background as it pertains to martial arts and broadcasting and everything else.
Well, as far as technology is concerned, I do own my own media company, Productions Media, where we host my own talk show as well called The Talk for the Walk and Aftermath, spelled AFTERMMATH, where we talk about mixed martial arts fights and interview fighters before they compete in various events all across the country and regional events. And then Aftermath, of course, we do like the post-apocalyptic look to it, to talk about how how everything settled after the dust has settled. So we talk to the winners of the fights and so on and so forth with that. You can check that out on Facebook. Little cheap plug there. But as far as martial arts is concerned, myself, I am a retired professional fighter. I fought for 16 years.
Wow.
I have a really crap record, 1-9. I'm not a good fighter, but. I have been in there. I fought some real monsters. I made my pro debut against Jonathan Ivey.
Wow.
It was his 78th professional fight, my first pro fight. And,
wow. That's a hell of a deal.
I've been in martial arts for over 30 years now. Since I was 5 years old, I did wrestling, I did karate. I have a second-degree black belt in Wada-Ryo karate.
Wow.
Under Steve Robinson out of Tennessee. I've just been doing stuff all over the world, man. Just whatever we can do and whatever we can help with.
That's awesome.
On martial arts.
We have,
from
yes.
the MMA side of it, since I retired, I got more into the media side, doing, of course, a talk show, which led into helping out with Rage in the Cage, OKC, doing their weigh-in ceremony, and then eventually,
that's fantastic.
Through an accident, basically, I became the ring announcer. So. From that, I created a character that I portray in the ring. I call him the ringmaster of ceremonies, kind of a ringleader of the circus, as well as an MC for the fights. So I try to put on a grand show.
Well, I will have to say that you pull it off, brother. You have got quite the deal. I do want to get your take on this jacket. You have a jacket in your pro. Hold on a sec. We have got a.
If that's for me, don't answer it.
No. It's our next guest, Diane Collins. She is going to be with us here in just a few moments. We're gonna go to her here in a few moments. We've got Justin Christie with us here, kicking off our big broadcast, and so this jacket on your profile picture. Okay. Where the heck did you? Yes, where'd you find this gold jacket, sir?
Amazon. It's called a brocade jacket. You can get them in sequins. You can get them in all kinds of stuff. I just wanted.
I've got to get one.
Flair.
I've got to get one of these.
Believe it or not, it was only like $70 off of Amazon.
Wow, that's not bad at all.
Not bad at all.
That's not bad at all.
Now, if you do buy it like your normal size jacket, get it like 2 or 3 sizes.
Oh
bigger.
yes,
Otherwise,
because yes,
I don't know, it's sizes.
There's
I'm not sure.
These people that are doing these sizes and things online nowadays. We had an issue, or I guess we didn't really have the issue. Dave the Caveman Rickles had the issue over the weekend, but he had bought a whole bunch of outfits that he was going to dress his ring crew in to walk him to the cage, or I guess I shouldn't say cage, the circle for bare knuckle. And by the time they all got here, they were all wrong sizes. So. Remember, kids, when you order things online, order them 3 or 4 sizes bigger. But Justin Christie with us today. He joins us live here in our broadcast. He's the co-founder of Buzzsaw Fighting Championships. He is also host of the Talk Before the Walk, and he joins us today here via the magic of the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And so talk to us a little bit about what you've got coming up. The Buzzsaw event.
Buzzsaw Fighting Championships is going to be an amateur kickboxing event.
Okay.
Not sponsored, but sanctioned by the WKO, the World Kickboxing Association or organization. Excuse me. We're going to have as many fights as we possibly could put on there. It'll be in Guthrie, Oklahoma, on November 21st. I'm partnering up with the promoter and owner of Buzzsaw Championship Wrestling, the pro wrestling organization.
That is fantastic.
Basically, he's got a building that he uses for Buzzsaw Championship Wrestling, which they just had an event this past weekend on October 3rd, where Super Beast just won the Buzzsaw Championship Wrestling Heavyweight Championship. He's also an international world champion over in Japan and stuff like that. So, it's kind of cool. We got to come in and do ring announcing for that, and I did color commentary for them as well. And, I do all avenues of combat sports and entertainment as well through Fast Productions and Media. We come in and put them on pay-per-view and everything we can. But we're just taking Fast Productions Media and taking that pro wrestling ring. We're adding a rope to it to be illegal for the kickboxing event, and we're just going to have kickboxing out of that pro wrestling ring.
I'll tell you, I have done myself and the legendary Dave Cummings promoted a smoker fight in Salina, Kansas with XWE, and we had wrestling in a we had kickboxing and MMA in a pro wrestling ring, and I have never. I'll tell you, I was worried I was going to break my leg fighting in that. So competing in a professional wrestling ring, and it's something else, brother.
Absolutely. What we are going to do is a lot of pro wrestling rings have that little give, that little bounce in the middle of the ring.
Yes, and this ring did.
What we're going to end up doing, I think. I was talking to Dave Cummings, which for the listeners who don't know, Dave Cummings is the sanctioning body for WKO. He's the commissioner. He is a 15-time world kickboxing champion. Been in martial arts for his whole life. Phenomenal martial artist. He owns Thunder Muay Thai in Oklahoma City, and just got to put him over a little bit. He also owns Thunder Promotions and is hosting an event on October 31st at the Oklahoma City Farmers Public Market called Buds and Brawls Blunt Force Trauma.
Blunt Force Trauma, yes, that is.
The main event of that. If you want to tune into the Talk Before the Walk this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. Central Time, 8:30 a.m. Australian Time. I have fans from Australia too.
That's awesome.
So if you want to tune in to Talk Before the Walk, we're going to be having the main event interviewed there. It's going to be contested for the 150-pound North American title with Tater McSpadden versus Jose Montalbano.
I love that first name, Tater.
Oh my God, he even has a mullet and lives up to his name. But he just competed at the XFN show in Tulsa, Oklahoma this past Friday. at the River Spirit Casino in Tulsa and won with a head kick knockout.
Oh, I think I've seen that. Yes.
It was sick. He is no joke. For somebody who has such an extraordinary name, he's a real deal martial artist.
Tater.
So be on the lookout for Tater McSpadden for sure. He's going to be main event in Blunt Force Trauma on October 31st at the Oklahoma City Farmers Market. With that said,
I remember when we did the very first Blunt Force Trauma in Hutchinson, Kansas. Me and Dave put that event together, and wow, we had I think 25 fights that night. And I'm sure that this version of Blunt Force Trauma will be much more condensed.
It will be, but I've seen the list of fights. He has about that many signed up. He's going to have to cut a few of them. And I was talking to Dave. We may roll some of the fights that can't be on this show onto my Buzzsaw Fighting Championship. So
that's awesome.
Working with Dave Cummings is phenomenal. He's definitely a class act when it comes to the martial arts and kickboxing, stuff like that. He's always been a great guy to me. Up front.
Oh, I love Dave. He's great.
Yeah, phenomenal. So he's been honest with me about everything. And that's what I think means the most. The cool thing about the Blunt Force Trauma stuff is we are kind of close with our events, with him being October 31st and mine just 3 weeks later.
Yep.
And hopefully that event's going to go pretty well if we have any carryover from the Blunt Force Trauma into ours with some fighters and fights. The cool thing about it is both of the fights are going to be live on Fight TV. You can get them both for $19.99. Blunt Force Trauma, of course, going to be live on Fight TV on October 31st for $19.99. You can get your tickets from Ticketstorm.com for him. For us, we're going to do our tickets through Stubwire.com, so you can get them as well for Buzzsaw Fighting Championships.
So when you make your matches, and I am always. I am always very interested to chat with matchmakers and promoters when it comes to putting fights together, because I remember as far back as, oh good Lord, it was probably the middle 2000s. I used to compete on these things called Box-A-Buddy, and it was pretty much it was like Tough Man, but you would show up to the building and they would say, pick one, Godzilla or King Kong. And nowadays, I see these promoters who go in there, and if you know who the promoter is and you see a certain school and you look at the other side of the card, it's kind of one of those situations where as long as they don't slip on a banana peel going to the cage, they will probably pull things off. You being from the world of pro wrestling and being involved in pro wrestling, you understand the term jobber. That is something that I've had to explain to the MMA and fight guys, and a lot of times they don't understand it, and a lot of times they will defend it till the very end that, they don't do those things in fighting, which I'm like, no, yes, they do.
I think the proper translation in the different languages of pro wrestling and combat sports is jobber to MMA and boxing and all that is a journeyman.
Yes. Or I've heard the term tomato can, which just makes my mother just laugh her head off every time I mention that to her. But so when you do your matchups, do you match upon record, or do you go, hey, this will make a good fight? How do you make your matches? Give me the little behind the scenes on that.
It's a little bit of mixture on both. I mean, if I can match record for record, if I get a 1-0 guy, I'd love to have him against another 1-0 guy where the O must go early.
Yeah.
Whoever advances to 2-0, that's great. They're a level record.
Yeah.
Sometimes the record doesn't match the skill.
Yes.
Sometimes you got a guy who's like 0-1, who is incredibly skillful, and just about anybody you're going to match him up against, with the exception of the one fight that he lost the split decision to, went the distance and that's just who the opinion was of the judges, and it just doesn't match the record of the fighter. For example, William Connolly out of Oklahoma City fought Louis Alvarado from American Top Team Oklahoma City at a Rage in the Cage event, and William Connolly lost the split decision. It was a super heavyweight fight, slugfest. I mean, absolute fight of the night. And for his first, debut amateur fight, I mean, the guy showed that he's got some fortitude.
Yes.
And heart that a lot of fighters that are, deep into the game just don't have. And especially at super heavyweight, going the distance with like that level of a slugfest that they had, it was just phenomenal and jaw-dropping to watch. So when you look at somebody like William Connolly and you're like, oh, he's 0-1, don't let that record fool you, because his skill level does not, the record does not reflect that skill level.
Yes.
So if you know the fighters a little better, that helps out as well. So the skill level that they can get in there with. I personally try absolutely my hardest to not put a killer versus a tomato can.
Yes.
I don't want that to happen. I don't like easy fights. I want people to be challenged in their fights, especially at amateur level, because that's what is supposed to happen. They're supposed to use the amateur levels to not pad records, but to challenge yourself, because once you become a professional, nobody looks at your amateur record.
Yeah.
With the exception of boxing, once you're making your boxing debut, they do things a little weird, compared to the rest of us, where, they're going to be like, oh, they're both pro debuts, but we can't let this guy fight the other guy because this guy's got 117 fights against tomato cans, and we've got a 5-1 pro MMA fighter that's making his boxing debut. We can't have that. And I'm like, that just doesn't make sense to me. Like debut pro should be debut pro,
yes,
regardless of your background. Just because I've got 115 karate fights underneath my belt, don't mean it's going to translate to crap.
That's right. That's right.
It's all what you're doing now.
Well, as we wrap up here with you, my friend, how do we get a hold of you online and listen to the radio program, get involved with what you're doing?
Check out the Talk Before the Walk on Facebook. You can check us out online for our website, fast-productions.com. You can book us for full-service weddings, DJ services, live event promotions. We do pay-per-view, live streams. I mean, everything. So whatever you need for your production needs, check out Fast Productions. But we're gonna. You can check us out at Buzzsaw Fighting Championships on Facebook as well to check out all of our details for our events. And we're going to be live in Guthrie, Oklahoma at the Logan County Fairgrounds on November 21st with the infamous Terry Pantera along with us from Buzzsaw Championship Wrestling, former WCW wrestler and wrestling royalty in my opinion for him. He's off doing the Crossfire movie and Hell Week, filming movies right now, and we're going to be putting on this show on November 21st. So you can get your tickets at stubwire.com. Just look up Buzzsaw Fighting Championships, and we're going to be live on Fight TV as well.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate you doing this. Thanks for coming on, and I will be in touch, my friend. Thanks for doing this.
Can I do one more real quick plug?
Yeah, go ahead, brother. Go. October
24th. You don't want to miss Fight TV. We're having a fight for Rage in the Cage 76 with the headlining match of the 205-pound Rage in the Cage professional light heavyweight champion Lamont Stafford. He's known as the KO King. He's defending his title against Tommy Brickhands Britain. Check that out. It's only $14.99 on Facebook.
Fantastic. Well, I appreciate it, sir. Thanks for doing this. And
thank you for having me. I love your show, brother.
I look forward to talking to you more. Have yourself a wonderful day, brother.
Take care, man.
Thank you, man. There he goes, Justin Christie. And we are going to take a time out. When we come back, we got more on the other side.